Hey guys, it's Boy. So after using both the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 for over 2 months now, I think I should be able to tell you which one is actually the best option for you to buy in 2021. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a very simple and direct comparison between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12. So at the end of this video, I hope it's going to help you in your decision making whether to go for the iPhone 12 Pro Max or the iPhone 12. So let's get straight into the comparison. So let's start with the design. They are both very similar when it comes to the design, the main difference being the size. A 6.7 inch on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and a 6.1 inch on the iPhone 12. Same button placement, same speaker placement. Another difference between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 is the camera system. 3 lenses on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, a LiDAR sensor and a flash. While on the iPhone 12, you only get 2 lenses, no LiDAR sensor, and you also get a flash. On the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you get this matte finish, while on the iPhone 12, you get this glossy finish made out of glass, obviously. The matte finish on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is also made out of glass, but as you can see here, the iPhone 12 attracts way more fingerprints than the matte finish on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And as you can see, if you hold the iPhone 12 Pro Max for like a couple of minutes, is all fingerprint city. The main deciding factor between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 when it comes to the design is the size. So if you have big hands and you like big phones, obviously the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the one to go for. Now let's go straight to the display. Obviously a bigger display on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but this time the good news is that both the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 gets an OLED display. Usually the non-Pro models do get an LCD display, while the Pro models get an OLED display. But this year, all 4 variants of the iPhone 12 gets an OLED display. So in terms of display quality, they are both looking amazing. Although the iPhone 12 Pro Max seems a little bit brighter than the iPhone 12, but the difference is not really that clear, at least for me. Both phones can display 4K HDR up to 60 frames per second and can also support Adobe Vision for immersive viewing. Really, they are very close. Once again, size is the deciding factor. Now, let's talk about processor, operating system, and RAM. Both phones are powered by the new A14 Bionic chip, and I can tell you both phones are very similar in speed. There is no question about that. In fact, I did some speed tests just to confirm it. Both phones are very similar in speed. Now, when it comes to operating system, obviously both phones are powered by iOS. There's no question about that too. When it comes to RAM, it's probably 4 GB of RAM on the iPhone 12 and 6 GB of RAM on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And to be honest, I can't really tell because I've been using both phones for almost 2 months now, and I can't really tell the difference between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max when it comes to the processing power, the performance, and everything. Now, keep in mind, the base storage on the iPhone 12 is 64 GB, while that of the iPhone 12 Pro Max is 128 GB. So if you like to keep most of your files, like your pictures, offline, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to offer you more space. But if you're like me and you like to keep most of your files on iCloud, well, 64 GB is still going to be enough. In fact, I don't think I've used 20% of my local storage on my iPhone 12 Pro Max because the iCloud is actually way more convenient. So the processing power, the processor, and the RAM is definitely not a deciding factor when it comes to choosing between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And by the way, both phones have support for 5G. Now let's move on to the battery life. The iPhone 12 Pro Max battery is actually very excellent, while the iPhone 12 is, very good. Both will get you through the day, but on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I end up with 30 to 40% battery left on my phone, while on the iPhone 12, I get around maybe 15 to 25% left. That's to be expected. Obviously, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has more space for battery. Battery life is actually very important. Both phones can charge with the new MagSafe charger with the help of the magnets at the back of the phones. Other accessories also make use of this magnet feature also. Now let's move on to the camera system. The lenses you're going to get on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the wide lens, the ultra wide lens, and the telephoto lens. While on the iPhone 12, you only get the wide and the ultra wide lens. Now, the lenses they have in common are actually very similar when it comes to spec and picture quality. So the only thing you'll be lacking on the iPhone 12 is the telephoto, which gives you 2x zoom. When it comes to video, this also applies. But another thing that sets the iPhone 12 Pro Max apart from the 12 is the ability to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, 10-bit color space. Although the iPhone 12 can also shoot this, but it's capped at 30 frames per second. And don't get me wrong, the iPhone 12 can shoot 60 frames per second, but it does not include Adobe 10-bit color space. Like I said, it's capped at 30 frames per second. Another thing that sets the iPhone 12 Pro Max from the iPhone 12 is the stabilization mechanism, which gives it extra stabilization. It's probably the only pro thing I have noticed about the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it is amazing. The front-facing camera is pretty much similar to me, so there's not much difference between the front-facing camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the front-facing camera on the iPhone 12 too. But in general, I would say the camera system is not really a deciding factor. The camera system on the iPhone 12 is enough to satisfy most average people. Now, consider the following when you're trying to decide. Let's start with the price. The base iPhone 12 is going to cost you $799, while the base iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to cost you $1099. So that's $300 difference between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So these are the main deciding factor between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. First one is the size. If you want the extra 0.6 inches between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, well, go for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, the other main deciding factor between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the battery life. Obviously, like I said, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a better battery life than the iPhone 12, but it depends on what you do with your phone. So if you're an heavy gamer, like you like to play games a lot, obviously the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to offer you more battery life than the iPhone 12. But for the most part, I've noticed that both the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, on light normal use like taking calls, sending messages, and watching videos here and there, the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max are actually very capable. Now, the third deciding factor between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the camera system. The camera system on the iPhone 12 is enough for most people, but if you just want to feel like you have something extra in your camera system, like the telephoto lens and the LiDAR sensor, but the iPhone 12 actually does 99.99% of what the camera system of the iPhone 12 Pro Max can do. I'm going to recommend the iPhone 12 to most people because it has the perfect size, it has a very good battery, and the camera system is amazing. Anyways guys, no matter what you pick, it's going to be the right choice for you. I'm just here to help you decide, and I hope I helped a little bit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.